My name is Dylan McCaghren. I'm a loan officer here at Spire Financial, and I have been in the industry for about a year now. And I got into the industry after about 6 years of sales experience, software sales experience, working with multiple companies as large as Amazon and as small as a production company down the street in Louisville, Colorado. Have a multitude of experience with sales and large sales cycles, but eventually got to a point where I was pretty burnout and not super motivated to help X company make Y% more or become, Z% more efficient in one process that wasn't having, a multitude of impact for the people in my life and for myself personally and my happiness. So a close friend of mine who works here at Spire, Kyle Turner, let me know what loans were, how it was going for him. He made a similar switch from another industry. I was able to meet with the team. It was pretty immediately obvious that these were people I would get along with and enjoy working with. I went through my own home purchase about 2 years ago, and I think this is a pretty common scenario when you talk to a lender or you talk to a realtor where they either had a really good experience or they had a really bad experience, and it pushed them into that realm and made them interested. So for me, I had a great experience, but didn't feel super educated, didn't feel like I knew every single variable that was going into my decisions. Once I started talking to the folks at Spire, like Turner, like Kyle, and others, I started to realize that this was a group of people that not only really cared about their clients and had all the knowledge, but they really want to make sure people were comfortable from step A to Z. Did a lot of stuff on the front end to make sure that the decision was not just a, hey, I feel like I need to buy a house, but more of a, hey, I'm armed with all this knowledge and know and can be confident that buying this house, going through this process, making one of the biggest purchase decisions of my life is going to have impacts far, far downstream. And I'm going to have a relationship with this team to help me build generational wealth and help me control my debt and leverage my liabilities and assets a lot better. And once I started to realize that they were going a lot deeper, it started to spark this interest of, hey, I know how to handle a large sales cycle, something that takes months and months and takes a lot of thought and a lot of analysis. But this is also something that could actually have impact for someone's family, unlike that software sales where I didn't really feel that emotional connection. Um, the other piece of it was that, taking this leap, I understood that could have a large emotional impact for me. It could have a large career impact for me and my trajectory. Um, but I knew that, it was a risk worth taking. Things that I enjoy most about this industry are, first off, I'm a very analytical person. I am not built to be the realtor out in the street showing a bunch of houses, but I love the industry and what it can do for people and the analytical nature of this and being armed with ways to take a group of assets, take a profile of a person, take seemingly a large problem, and then finding the perfect solution is really motivating to me. I love to get deep into that stuff, present three, four, five different options and work with the client to know which one's the best for them specifically, because that's going to be a little bit different for everyone, even if they on the surface level look really similar. The next piece of it is I'm a salesperson also when you boil it down. So I get the other side of it as well. I get the human interaction. I get the ability to take a large, large decision that often comes with a lot of stress and often comes with a lot of anxiety and make sure someone knows up front like that, hey, here's what we know about the market. Here's what we know about what has happened historically. Here's what we know about how you're going to be able to have a plan over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years with this purchase you're making, such that the client can become confident and more comfortable before they ever make their decision. So really building that relationship up front is huge for me. And as a result, by the time we get to the closing table or even to the offering table, I know my client's confident. I know they're not thinking that they're making a rash decision, and seeing that evolution of somebody that comes in and says, hey, what does it look like to buy a house to, hey, I'm buying this house and I know it's the right decision is incredibly impactful for me. And, gives me the warm fuzzies when I think, I've made that decision and I had a higher level of stress and I can make that a little easier for someone else. is really just something to smile about when you go home at the end of the day. There's a wealth of things at Spire Financial that really set us apart from the competition. So first off, there's just a massive focus on education and staying one step ahead of the market. I come from the tech world, the software sales world, where all you hear all day is agility and being one step ahead, thinking of the next best idea, being ahead of the market. And I didn't quite expect to feel that when I went to the mortgage lending world. When you see it on paper, it is, seemingly pretty boring and it's seemingly pretty much the same all the time. And that's just not the case. We live in a market in Colorado where things are constantly evolving. We've seen a massive change over the past few months. We've had ups and downs that, you have to be ahead of if you're going to not get left behind. So knowing that ideas are going to come from leadership, come from my team, that we're all going to be collaborating together. We're going to be educating each other on a weekly, daily basis in the same rooms together, and not out for each other's lunch money. I know that when I go talk to my clients, I'm already ahead of the other lender and I have a better shot at giving my client the best experience, but also the best advice so that, again, they can be more and more confident than the next person in making that purchase decision when comes time to make that offer. So the other main thing that really sets Spire Financial and our group apart from the competition is the team that we have behind us. I know from step A to Z that it's not only the knowledge I have, but I have 30, 40, 50 years of experience at any given time when I'm working through something that I can pull from on my team directly right next to me and give the client the most confident answer that I know is correct. There's this tendency in this industry, similar with real estate, where it's all competition, it's all cutthroat all the time. And when I was coming into Spire, I was told very clearly that the thing that's going to set me apart is the team behind me. And I thought I had to put so much emphasis on knowing every single little thing. And while I still strive for that, I know that when I don't know, which those things happen, I'm going to have that team behind me, and I know that we're going to be able to find the right answer and we're going to be able to give the client the right advice. And I've seen that time and time again from the first day I started to just today, a year in, show its head and show that it is setting me apart and it's going to make me win more and more, especially as we move into periods that are a little bit tougher in this market. I know that I'm still going to succeed because I've got the right advice and I've got the right folks behind me.